Texting 856-5709. We are live. Happy post 4th of July. We are here in Falmouth where it all is going down. The redoubtable one himself. I'm sorry, the redoubtable one's not here. Tom, we miss you. By the way, Tom, no recordings from NYC? Are you kidding me? What's happening down there on Long Island? This is our third, boys and girls, the highly questionable audio show, segment 1 IDD for those of you I don't agree, and it is my pleasure. Have back one of the originals, one of the forefathers, if you will. The one, the only, John Mccosh.
Brother-in-law.
Brother from a not-so-adjacent mother. We miss you, Marge, especially over the holidays. It is July 7th? It is July 7th.
July 7th.
So we've been mucking around, doing the vacation thing. Went for a bike ride today. Went down to Woods Hole. Stopped at the Pie in the Eye. $70 for parking.
Pie in the sky.
Girls. Pie in the sky. How about pie in your pocket? How about pie in your wallet?
But we did pick up a sponsorship from Old Speckled Hen.
Yes, we did. The Old Speckled Hen. This first thing, right? The Old Speckled Hen. That's right. Keeping it real. Cappy, I don't know, how does Cappy's not have our picture? At least yours. For the love of God. I mean,
they do on the register. It says, do not serve this man.
Do not serve this man. Yeah,
I mean,
we've been outlawed. I think we've been outlawed. Anyway, segment 1, State of the Local 9. And by the way, the Local 9, currently, as John and I have it over our shoulder, we are talking to you and we are watching live. We do it all here. We dabble. Okay, right now, in the bottom of the fourth, the Red Sox, the old 5-0 on Oakland. Now, nobody gives a crap about Oakland because Oakland's going to be Vegas before we blink. They've already stole the team. I feel bad for this fan base. They can't hold talk about a team that can't hold a glass of water, Tom. They can't keep the Raiders. They can't keep the Golden State Warriors, and now they've lost the baseball team. Talk about a fan base that has just been distraught.
absolutely.
You know, we've been very lucky here.
We have.
Very lucky here. But I want to get his take on a couple of things because he's here in the pulse of Red Sox Nation and Patriot Nation. That will be segment 2, by the way.
That I am.
But I want to get his take on the Local 9. Now, right now, look at we're coming up on the All-Star break. The Red Sox only have one All-Star.
I do want to say one thing about the Red Sox, though.
I figured you did.
This is a heads up to shout out to my friend Johnny Bose. He was a big Red Sox fan. He worked Gate E. They put his name over the gate. He was killed in an auto accident, unfortunately.
When was this?
Oh, God, actually, it's coming up on a year ago now, actually.
Oh, no.
But it seems like yesterday.
I'm sorry, a year anniversary.
Yeah.
Up.
Yep. And he was a great guy. The Red Sox also loved him. All of the security loved him, and they have his name right there in Gate E. So I'm going to hoist one to Johnny Bose.
Johnny Bose, yes, absolutely. Very good.
Yeah.
Condolences.
Sex on the Beach was his drink, and he was just a great guy. And
condolences to the family.
A lot of Red Sox.
He is gone but not forgotten here in Red Sox Nation. I can tell you that right now.
Absolutely.
Boys and girls. How many years did he work there?
Oh, God, I don't even know. It was a long time.
Long time?
Yeah.
Long time. Well, that's sad to hear. We will not forget him here on IDD. That is a promise. We will always serenade. And it's July, coming up on a year. Huh?
Yeah, coming up on a year. Yep. Yeah.
So, first question for you.
And I just wanted to say one other quick little thing here, too.
Sure.
So what I'm doing here is I'm bringing my Finions. They're not exactly facts. They're not even exactly opinions. They're more like minions.
They're Finions.
So, feel free to not listen to anything I say. But I want to give you guys a little... I want to give you guys a little entertainment.
At least he's honest, boys and girls.
Exactly.
Honesty goes a long way in this world.
I'm like Johnny Fever in WKRP in Cincinnati. The more I drink, the more in depth I become.
You went there.
Oh yeah.
Well, there you go. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
WKRP.
Johnny Fever.
Johnny Fever. Well, my first question to you is, and again, now
let me just open up with one quick little bit of flavor here.
Flavor.
I was at the Red Sox recently.
Okay.
At a booth at a box, one of the bigger boxes. They had two bathrooms just in the box. Your own bartender, and then all your seats outside. So my wife is there. She's the disability commissioner for the city of Boston, and the trophy, the last
World Series trophy.
Yeah, the last World Series trophy was there.
2018.
2018, and she knocked into the table with the trophy, and it goes sliding off.
No.
With those big, tall flags all around,
No.
I just instinctively reached over and grabbed it and got her to reverse. And she uses a power wheelchair.
So you saved the trophy.
It would have been the Gronk effect. It would have definitely had a dent in it. And I just thought that would be a little something to.
Well, I got news for you. Any man who saves a World Series trophy from certain doom.
Right.
Is always welcome on this show.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
The first question I had for you was tonight, because again, they're winning right now. Now look, at first glance, you're like they're in last place. But if you look at the rest of the division that they are in, which right now is on a historic pace, there has never been a division this good this late in the season where everyone is above 500 right now. Now,
and I will say also with the Finians I'm going to provide, the F is doing double duty. It also stands for feelings. So it's kind of like the eyeball test, and to me, you just have a feeling about this Sox team. You're not worried that they're in last place. You're not saying wait till next year.
No.
That wait till next year.
Thing.
The wait till next year is on pause and permanent delay at this moment until proven otherwise. So I do not feel bad about the Red Sox right now.
No,
at this stage of the
actually,
game.
to your point, it's actually quite encouraging given what the
trend is.
When
good
the
too.
season started, nobody thought this team would be where they are right now. No one. And that speaks to two things. Alex Cora, one, who I think is manager of the year this month. They never let this guy go. He won. He was the manager in 2018 when they won the World Series. They let him go once. Don't make this mistake again. This dude can flat out coach. He gets more with less. I'm just saying. Yeah. This guy should go nowhere. He ain't the problem. He is not the problem. He's a big part of the solution, I think. Now the second thing is, and if we're looking currently at the standings, wild card race as of tonight. Now we're on July 7th. Again, the Wild Star break hasn't happened yet. Red Sox are currently 3 back at the final wild card spot. I never thought that would be possible. 3 games is nothing.
Right?
Are you kidding me? There's 90 games. There's plenty of time to make up 3 games. Right now they are chasing the Blue. 2 of these teams are in their own division: the Blue Jays and the Yankees, and then you got Houston. The Red Sox have done very well against the Blue Jays this year. They've done pretty well against the Yankees too. And so this is not beyond the realm of possibility.
And the trend against the Rangers there?
They just took 2 out of 3 from the Texas Rangers, and we were talking about this off air this morning. Last night they had a conga line going around in the 7th inning when 13 guys batted and they dropped a 6 spot on them. And I was wrong. The score was 10-6 was the final, but they were trailing 5-4, and they came up and the bats woke up, and these were singles and doubles. These were manufactured runs, and then the bullpen came in and closed the door.
Yeah.
So, look, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm a lot more optimistic on July 7th than I thought I would be. I thought you and I would be sitting there going, all right, who's getting fired first? That's what I thought we'd be talking about tonight.
Yeah, and we have great confidence in Red Sox Nation.
Now, let me ask you this. With the trade deadline coming up, the Red Sox, if you're only 3 back, you're going to be a buyer, not a seller. What do you think is the number one thing the Red Sox, if they can do it, what should they add to this team?
Well, they need a closer.
They have the closer.
I'm sorry, a starting pitcher. See, that's why these are Finians. Even my own opinions aren't even factually correct as opinions.
Before the old speckled hen, there was a Boddington's,
right,
and there was a Margarita. So I'm just saying.
And there may have been a White Claw too.
And there might have been a White Claw, and these are pints.
And the few Red Claws, which
these aren't that 12-ounce sissy claw.
Oh yeah, no.
We don't do that down here.
No,
we don't drink. No, you bring them.
And this is not Salt Lake City.
No.
0.05%.
No.
This is Britain's.
This stuff is coming from an old country, coming across the pond here. These guys, you know what they do? They drink in pints. Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean this is not for the faint of heart here. No. So no, he's saying that having tossed back a few real drinks tonight, and there will be more because it's Friday. But the bottom line is, I agree with him. Frontline starter.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's that's what I meant to say, right?
No, I know that's what you meant to say. We talked about it off the air.
We did.
But the closer, Jansen's done his job. He's been good. He's been effective. He's in the top 5. But here's the other thing. As of tonight, for this game's not included, the Red Sox are 4th in average in all of baseball, batting average. They are 4th in hits. They are 8th in RBIs. Their offense has delivered. Yeah. And this despite losing the gravy train of talent they have lost over the past 3-4 years. They are literally, they're I'd say top 10, top 7 offense in baseball.
For sure.
The question has always been pitching. Now, they've got a closer, this kid Jansen, who came in. He was closing in on 400 career saves. He's over that now. He got it with the Red Sox. He's doing well. Frontline starter.
Absolutely.
They've got to get a guy. Look, the reality is their kryptonite is the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, who are the best team in baseball, but they've lost 5 in a row.
And I mean,
I think they lose 5 in a row all year.
And so when isn't starting pitching a big deal, right? For anybody.
Pitching has always won in this league and always trumps hitting. You're right. The problem with them right now, in terms of, you go back, and we've got the stats here. This is the beauty of technology, boys and girls. We've got stats like you read about. And when you go to here's where the Red Sox are in trouble.
One more little bit of flavor here. I live right in between two of Babe Ruth's former residences.
That's true.
Yeah, he lived on.
You do?
Yeah, he lived on Silver Street in South Boston, and he lived overlooking a cemetery, which I think is where he buried all his empties. But yeah, that's where I am. And so I always think about pitching, Yeah. And also we just saw, of course, The Wizard of Oz. There's like three of the actors from The Wizard of Oz are right in that area too. Not that anybody cares.
We do,
but
this is the kind of banter we need.
You can tell I'm not strong on facts.
Well, no, but so he said pitching. To his point, right now,
pitching,
as it says,
absolutely.
Pitching. The Red Sox are 19th in the 30-team league. Their ERA as a team is 4.4. Now, what he doesn't know, what I said a few weeks ago was that by the end of the season, if the Red Sox are in contention, one of two things will have happened. They'll either vault to the top of all the offensive stats,
and Chris Sale is going to be
and Chris Sale will be, or their team ERA will somehow get below 4. Now 3.9 counts, but if they got to 3.9, if you look at who's 3.9, there are only 11 teams in this league. Let's be honest. 11 teams in this league that have an ERA as a team below 4. Number 11 is the team they just took 2 out of 3 of, the Texas Rangers. If you look at this list, San Francisco Giants, Toronto Blue Jays, Mariners, Guardians, Yankees, Padres, Devil Rays, Braves, Astros, and Twins. All these teams are in first or second place.
For some reason, I never fear the Blue Jays. And
we do very well against them.
Yeah,
we do.
And I don't mean to insult any Canadians.
No, they're a good team. They were a playoff team last year.
And
they're a good team.
That'll probably come up and bite me, and that'll be the one that bites me in the butt, of course, right? But for some reason, I just feel like, okay, we're going to get ahead of the Blue Jays.
But if you look at who's ahead of them, Baltimore, Milwaukee, Miami, these are all playoff teams. So if they can somehow, and of course, an ace would take a big step.
Yeah, if we can get Sale back, we'll go right to Amsterdam.
And Sale went before he got hurt, because of course he always gets hurt, right? 6 great starts in a row. Very, very good starts in a row. Okay, so he's already
and
he's throwing.
He has the drive too. You can't take that away from him. He gets hurt.
The one thing he has said, he has not earned his paycheck.
Yeah,
he has said this, like, I'm killing this team.
And you know what?
He knows it.
I don't want to go overboard on some of these points, but you remember, like Ted Williams, he gave back part of his salary one year because he felt he didn't earn his paycheck. Now, no one is going to do that today. One reason is the players' union would take a hit out on you.
Oh my God!
You would be buried at a lot.
That would be like the mafia.
Yeah,
Chris Sale would disappear.
Right. No, I'm not saying that.
You'd be like Luca Brasi.
Right.
He'd be sleeping with the fishes.
And I am not trying to give him that an excessive amount of credit either.
No.
It just brought that up in my mind.
Yeah.
That he felt that he has not earned his paycheck.
But at least he admits it.
Who says that?
How many people actually admit
But I think that makes it incumbent upon him to really fire it up. And I would never question his heart or his motivation.
No, I think he's trying to get back. He's throwing again.
Yeah.
Hope he's going to be back in a week or two. Look, the fact that they're above water, they're in this thing, and he hasn't been healthy. When he was pitching as well as he was when he got hurt, this bodes well for them. Tonight, they're pitching a shutout right now, knock on wood. Now, again, there's an error. As soon as I say it, there's an error. So there goes the shutout. But they're up 5-1 now. In any event, they've got 2 outs in the 5th inning. So the bottom line is, they have righted the ship. They have, in spite of a slew of injuries, because only 2 of the original 6 starting pitchers are healthy currently, they have had the next man up mentality. This guy, Chime, we also want to touch on. I was telling John this off the air. Everybody's been calling for the head, myself included, for the Red Sox GM. There's some facts you need to know about here, if we're being fair. We try to be fair on this show. This guy was brought in.
I didn't know we were trying to be fair.
We were. Well,
let me readjust my script here.
Doesn't mean we always achieve that.
Right. Okay.
Not because we don't try it. But if we're being fair, this guy was come in to write the checkbook, okay, meaning, and get the team. Again, they had a lot of bad contracts. They did. They had a lot of bad contracts. They had to gut this team in a lot of ways. And they did. Now, the 2 that I still argue about, Xander was one, and of course Mookie Betts is the other. Those 2, you make the exception and you bite the bullet because they're that good. But the other guys, okay, I get why they did some of the things they did, because they were trying to. They've got a 40-man roster. They are deep, okay? And this pitching staff, they got 3 guys up and coming. 1 guy last month, I forget his name, 5-0, ERA of 2.1 for the month of June.
And it is all in service, though, of what I think is just going to be so important is that it's about the team. Now, baseball is, in a way, an individual sport.
It is.
And they're individuals playing on the same team. But at the same time, you have to have, be working in service of the entire group.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate it when you get an excessive amount of investment in someone who you just feel is going to be a question mark. I mean, and right now I feel confident that they have a good set of contracts.
They do. There's only one bad contractor on the roster remaining, and that's Chris Sale.
Yeah,
he's really the only bad one. So
and
from that perspective,
and for Sale though, I mean, from where we are right now, it's just potential.
He's got to get healthy. Yeah. He's got to stay healthy for a season. He's got to they got to cross the finish line with him intact.
Yeah.
Because if he's healthy, intact, they might actually have a shot at doing something. If they provided, to your point, they get one more starter at the trade deadline. Now, this is where the Red Sox brass, I'm hoping, is doing their homework. Because they're going to, for there to be buyers at the trade deadline, there have to be sellers. There are teams that are going to be out of it. You got to go through these rosters of these teams that are mailing in and go, all right, is there a quality starter in there somewhere that we can nab? And what would they be willing to give up to get it? That's the question. That's the question. There are, honestly, on this roster, beyond Devers, and the closer Jansen, who's really untouchable?
Yeah. No.
I mean, is there anybody else that you wouldn't? Look, Yoshita's had a good year. He's batting over 300. Verdugo's been really good. I could see you saying, putting the no-touch clause on those 2-3 guys.
Yeah.
But other than that, who's really untouchable on this roster right now?
I feel sometimes I fantasize about saving the world, and every time I do, it's like 4 billion people are dead. And whenever I fantasize about saving a team, I'm like
half the world.
More than half, probably more like 80%.
But if 4 billion are dead, that's more than half.
Right. I'll up it to 6 billion. So the main point here is
but the planet survives.
Listen to me. The planet's fine. Yeah, the planet's better off than ever before. But my goal is to get everyone on the planet to be able to go to the Super Bowl. Okay, I stole that from Bill Burr, but you see what I'm saying? But in terms of the Red Sox, I also feel like I could solve the problems and run the team. But again, it would probably not work at all, and they would probably be kicked out of the major leagues. And my idea, I would love it to go in. If I ran the Red Sox, give me the keys, but also give me a second home out of the country where I could just escape with a new identity.
Whenever a bad decision is made.
Yeah, this is what I would do.
To face the music.
I would tell everyone on the team, we're doing 1-year contracts.
Isn't that what John Henry's doing right now?
Maybe, yeah. I would love this is my fantasy. This is my fantasy baseball situation. We give everyone an excessive paycheck, 1 year for everybody, and just let them hang with the success of the team and want to be there and want to come back.
1 year with what?
Nothing. No one gets any more than a year contract.
So you want 41-year contracts?
Yeah. And that way you're never stuck with a bad contract. And people are gonna perform for their pay, and we're not gonna get stuck with someone who's unfortunately gets injured. I mean, I know that's kind of
injuries happen.
Yeah, right.
But all sports.
Now I know that's obviously not gonna work. But
isn't it harder to get hurt in baseball than the other three?
Well, George Carlin said, baseball. There's never actually been a baseball injury. There's only been hangnails. There's never been a baseball injury that would have ever stopped a football player from taking the field, right? So, yeah.
Well, what about Tommy John, sir? Well, you have to, if it's a quarterback.
Yeah, right.
You can't throw.
Don't spoil my Finian here.
Well, but I'm saying that's one. I'm saying that's the one.
Obviously,
I'm saying in most cases I would agree with you, but there is one. There is one.
Yeah.
There is one. So, and it could be the most important position in all sports.
Yep. No,
that aside, I agree with you.
Well, yeah. So, baseball injuries to me are a little different. I don't fully appreciate injuries in baseball and what you should.
Well, there's a reason they could play 162 games.
Right. Well, that's probably a good point too. In football, if you miss a couple games, that's 18% of your season.
Yeah.
In baseball, it doesn't matter.
But they only play once a week for a reason.
Right.
Because they need 3 days to recover from football. Hockey players are the one that I can't understand. Now again, they're not nearly as big.
In baseball, your goal is to go home. In football, it's blitzkrieg.
No,
anyway,
as George Carlin once eloquently put, It was to riddle the defense with a sustained ground attack while punching holes
Yeah.
with a passing attack. Well, that's baseball, and that's football. In baseball, the other is just to go home.
There you go. Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if there are any
Football
baseball
has the
players,
2-minute warning. Baseball has the 7th inning stretch.
yeah,
That's to wake up everyone who was asleep.
Ooh, you're right.
Tom, during the first 6 innings. If you happen to pass out in that 4th inning,
Did you see the early football games? They were smoking on the sideline.
Smoking what?
Cigarettes.
They were?
Yeah.
During the game?
During the game.
Players?
Yes, players, quarterbacks. Look at like a 30-year-old quarterback in the early NFL. They look like 3 times Tom Brady's age today.
Joe Namath at 35 looks 70.
I know.
He did.
Yeah, right? Right.
He somehow aged like Keith Richards is somehow still with us. Keith Richards should have taken a dirt nap about 3 decades ago, and he's still with us. So there are those people.
There are.
There are those people.
There are.
But so to your point though, back to reality. Starting pitcher
Yep.
at the trade deadline. The health of Chris Sale.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. To me, I think that is key.
Yeah.
I think if Chris Sale comes back and can stay healthy the rest of the season the way he was pitching, and they get under the starter, as things currently stand, they might actually be a threat in October.
Yeah.
Because they have the
That's-
best manager in the game. They've got depth along that line. They're 4th in batting, 4th in hits, 8th in RBIs. Their offense packs a punch.
And by the way, I think we just put our one fan to sleep
well,
in the
this
background
is the
there.
best part. I was going to say, before we break for the second segment, I wanted America to take a look at this.
This is
Right?
Handsome George behind us.
That there is the patriarch.
He's so enthralled.
The Godfather, if you will. The Godfather. That is handsome George Mccosh. That man is a legend.
He
and,
is.
And first of all, only a legend could get away with that on my show.
I know, right? It's a great advertisement.
I love the fact
Everyone who comes in contact with us
everyone
falls
who
asleep.
sees this episode is
We're going to market ourselves to
You see the guy in the
insomniacs.
back
Insomniacs all over the world. Take note. There is a cure.
The guy in the back sleeping through the whole. You can't even make this shit up.
I know.
That is beautiful. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to refill.
Yeah.
Segment 2. You might want to tune in for this one. Belichick Kraft, is the honeymoon
Speaking
over?
of the gridiron.
Is the honeymoon over?
Yeah.
Is Belichick on the hot seat? Ooh, did you feel that?
Oh, yeah.
Was that my seat or his seat? I don't know. I couldn't tell. Anyway, we're going to get a frothful. We'll be right back. Segment 2, Patriots. The Patriarch. That's Handsome George back there, boys and girls. Tune in for that. I want to see if he wakes up without us telling him. Anyway, we will see you on the other side.
Awesome.